Good morning, Puckers. Yeah, I stole that from one of our posting forum guys. How's everybody today? Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Today's show, 2 games, both hockey. Andrew McGinnis, Buster Sports, and Dave Koken. Tomorrow I will not be around. Carmine will be hosting. Hope you guys are doing great. Talisman, Matt Carpenter, Alert, Eddie, Chance, Illuminati's, Carmine, and the rest of you. Thank you for waiting. Brian, Elliot, Frank, Bud, Bob, Hope, thanks for waiting in the posting forum. We're excited to start the show. Let's begin with Andrew McGinnis. You were away last week. Tell us a little bit about your vacay, how you're doing, and you've got a surgery happening on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys. Good to be back talking hockey. I did miss it a little bit. It was just a great week. A little bit of a golf trip with some great friends of mine. So there's about 10 of us guys that went golfing a couple of times and rented out a few cottages. And I met up with my girlfriend's family, spent a week with them at their cottage, and then I surprised her and we went somewhere on the South Shore to a nice little cabin and stayed there and kind of had the fun while I can. I'll be getting 2 different knee surgeries on Wednesday. So hopefully I'm back on the show again next week, but I mean, the shows aren't too long now, so hopefully I can just sit at the table. But good to be back to see you guys. I had a blast of a week. Prez, I appreciate everybody being so cool with me having the week off, and hoping to come back and catch some winners. So
awesome,
I hope you guys have all been well. And
glad you had fun. Buster Sports, how was your weekend?
I could have had better weekends, but betting wise. But as far as life goes, yeah, very good. Place here with a good friend of mine, and he's got a gorgeous little estate, let's just say. So yeah, it's been all good. I just want to say, Andrew, good luck with that surgery and everything. You're a young buck, and when you're young like that, you'll recover no problem.
All the nice things. Dave Koken, what's going on with you, dude?
I'm just working on baseball right now. I forgot what happened over the weekend.
That's a good way to be, Dave.
No, I mean, at my age, I'm okay if I forget something that happened 5 minutes ago. I think that I'm supposed to say that, right?
Yeah.
I went. Actually, I had a really break-even weekend as far as the handicapping is concerned. So nothing good, nothing bad as far as that goes.
I had a terrible weekend.
We'll start
myself,
all over
I
again
did
tonight.
Win my 5% play last night. Had a ton of guys trust me and bet the play, and I'm really, really appreciative of that. So thank you, everybody who jumped on. I had the over in the Utah-Denver game, and man, I mean, it was over start to finish. Ended up being a great call. Couldn't be happier. And as I said, I'm not around tomorrow. Last trip to the cottage. Day of hydrofoiling, jet skiing, water skiing, and tubing awaits. So we're going to get the show moving along. Welcome, Natalie, Kate, Nate. Nice to see you. Toma, Tom Hart, Richie Rich, always a pleasure. Well, we got the Flyers against the Islanders. Basically, it's a pick 'em, Andrew, minus 115 to Philly. The over and under here is 5. And, I'm going to look to play the under every game here. I mean, who knows? Maybe they go out and put up 7 today. But I really feel like this is going to be a tight checking game, a heavy game, if you know what I mean. And just a game that doesn't have the pace, say, that Vegas and Vancouver might have. It's 5. I'm going straight to the under. Andrew?
As the total goes, I thought about this quite a bit, and I'm on the different side. And I think the number one thing is, first of all, looking at the 5 as the total. 5s have done really well for the over, and at worst, they've gotten a push. So that, first of all, motivates me. But I look at matchups, head-to-head matchups, 11-1 to the over, last 12 meetings between these two teams. And, I'm happy I wasn't on the show to get, chirped and laughed at about the Canadians. But to touch on that series for a second, for the Philadelphia Flyers to come out on top in that series, which was a pretty tight-knit series, I think we can all agree on that for the most part, without having any of their star players score goals, shows me that, they actually do have depth. As much as I hate them, as much as I didn't want them to win as a fan, it shows me that they were able to get goals in other ways. And now I think that this is the series that we'll see Couturier, Giroux, Voracek get on the board consistently. And, the Islanders, everybody knows them to be a team that's so defensive and that, great goaltending. And that's why I backed them in 2 straight series. But they have scored 3 goals, 4 goals in some games in their series, dating back to against Florida and in their most recent series against Washington. So I like them to win this game, but I like the over more because I expect more out of Philadelphia. I think everybody can agree that Philadelphia underachieved against Montreal. They did not play their best hockey, and Carter Hart did really help them out in some lessons. And if Montreal had some more scoring power, that series might look a little different. So I like the over, and I like the Islanders on the series.
He's Andrew McGinnis, one of the best young up-and-coming handicappers around. Young enough to be my child and Dave Koken's grandson. He likes the over. I like the under in the Philadelphia Flyers game. I'm struggling on the side. Buster, what do you think? You like anything here, total or side?
I have real no opinion on the total. You guys have at her with your over and under there. 2 defensive clubs, but they can score. The 5 is always a nasty number in the playoffs because you can get there so easily on empty net goals. So I'll be passing on the total. I do like Philadelphia for game 1 here. I don't think I'm going to bet them in this series. They did underachieve against Montreal, but in saying that, Montreal played great. And Andrew, if you were on the show last week, you should be a proud Canadian fan. Me being a Montreal Canadian fan basically all my life, I don't think I was any prouder of them except for maybe the last time, 1993 was the last time I could say I was so proud of my team. They played great, maybe a little bit of bad luck, and maybe Philadelphia did play down to them. And you see that a lot. You see teams, maybe that was Philadelphia's series where, they played down to Montreal's. Maybe obviously Montreal talent isn't as good as Philadelphia, but you see that all the time. Like even last year when St. Louis won the cup, there's always a series that the teams play. That St. Louis won that double overtime against Dallas, and then they win the cup. Like there's always a series that they probably should have lost. That was Philadelphia's series they should have lost. Now, and I know you and Carmine both have the Islanders for series monies and for Stanley Cup money, but I really like Philadelphia to beat the Islanders tonight and probably in the series as well. I think this is going to be the Islanders' best defensive team that they've ever played. I know the Islanders beat them 3 times in the regular season, but that was the regular season. A lot of guys talked about how the Rangers hammered Carolina, and you saw what happened with Carolina, right? So that was the regular season. You got to remember, Carter Hart, the only game he played against the Islanders in the regular season, he allowed 5 goals on 14 shots. He just didn't show up. It was in October. No big deal. Elliott played the other 2 games. So it's going to be totally different on that. Philadelphia has to step it up offensively, obviously. It's going to be tough against the Islanders. This is probably going to be a 7-game series. I think Philadelphia has a little bit better goaltending. I think they have goal scoring. Their defense, they can play a great defensive game. So all the little edges, I like Philadelphia, but it's going to be close, guys. And I'm going to take Philadelphia for the game tonight. And you might even want to take Philadelphia 4-3 in a series bet or something like that to win in 7. That I'm not sure what that pays. I think it was like maybe plus 180 or something like that. But yeah, so that's where I am with that, guys.
Yeah, I think it's a 7-game series as well, 100%. Andrew McGinnis, we'll get back to you, but what a run you're on, dude. 38-11. NBA, NHL, and baseball run, 4-14-5 hockey run. Congratulations, dude. Outstanding stuff. I couldn't be prouder. Dave, what do you like in this one?
Well, somebody's got to spoil the party, so I like the other side. I like the Islanders. I was very impressed with how easily they handled Washington. The Capitals, the Capitals just fired their coach, so obviously they're disappointed in what took place. And you can say, well, Washington never really played to the level they were supposed to play. But They were dominated by the Islanders, and the only game they won, they came back when the Islanders got kind of stupid and started taking some idiotic penalties. Otherwise, that's a 4-game sweep. I thought Philadelphia obviously had a much more difficult time with the Canadiens, and some can argue that I think there is an argument to be made that they might still be playing. Well, they wouldn't still be playing. The series would be over, but it might have gone 7, and it might have had a different result if not for Carter Hart.
Say Carter Hart again.
What do you mean? Say that again.
I love Carter Hart.
Oh, okay.
Carter Hart's my favorite.
Look, yeah, okay. Well, you broke my train of thought, so I really don't know what I was saying. No, I don't. I was in the
that the Islanders.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Take.
You're on the Islanders, Dave. The Islanders are the team.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll give it back to you because
Dave, it's totally my fault.
I don't remember what it was.
But you know me, I do tend to interrupt. I have an interruption problem.
I know.
Problem. We'll get back. We'll get back there. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here's what it was. Shut up for a second, okay? The Canadiens played well in that series, but I might get some disagreement on this, but I don't think Montreal is a very good hockey team. And Carey Price was their dominant guy. They played the Flyers on very even terms, and you can make an argument they were the better team in the series. Territorially, they actually were. And the other thing to remember is that, and Andrew mentioned this, Philadelphia's big guys haven't been scoring. Well, why they're suddenly going to start scoring? I think the Islanders matched up with Philadelphia very well in the regular season, and while the regular season games don't mean a hell of a lot, this is a different time of year. I think the matchup problem still exists. Philadelphia was not able to get things going the way they wanted to in the regular season games. I think they're going to struggle again here, and I like the Islanders
there you go, guys.
Take the first game.
Dave likes the Islanders. Buster likes Philadelphia. I like the under, and Andrew likes the over. We were no help in this game. Unless, of course, yeah, exactly. Take them all.
Something for everyone.
People. Let's just take a look at some of the questions in the posting forum. And guys, I can't thank you enough. Puck Time Army. We've got 4 thumbs down. We haven't had 4 thumbs down to start a show. And all 4, by the way, were given prior to me interrupting Dave. So let's go with the thumbs up. Negate.
And they're probably from the same person on 4 different accounts.
But let's go. Let's dwarf those 4 thumbs down. So one guy's.
Must have
it's
been
all
Islander
you, Buster.
fans,
All
I guess.
4 thumbs down are for you. It's the chair.
I know that. I know I'm a guest on this show.
God.
Funny thing about the chair, Prez, you know what? A mutual friend was saying the only reason he watched the show on Friday, he says the only reason you gave me such a hard time about the chair is because you never thought of it yourself.
I never thought of an incredibly.
That
Buster, it's okay. You can own it. I'm not insulted. You're right. He's 100% right. I never thought of sitting on an incredibly uncomfortable carved long back chair. 100% right.
How do you know it's uncomfortable?
Yeah.
It's as comfortable as it can be.
Okay, let's get.
It's a fantastic chair.
You're feisty.
You actually would love it, Prez.
Let's get to some of the chat stuff. Prez, Andy did a great job on the UFC shows. Yeah, Scott, Andy's awesome. And he's got such a great personality. He's fun as hell. So thank you for that shout out. Another one of the guys said, hey, during the playoffs, let's do a puck time during the weekend. We're gonna do it. I'm hoping it starts this weekend, everybody, so stay tuned. I just got to talk to Andrew and Carm separately and figure out who's going to host. I can host a few here or there, but we're going to have to rotate. I got kids and blah, blah, blah. It's really tough to give my time on Saturday and Sundays consistently.
I'll handle it, Prez, before I have kids. That sound fair?
Okay, so you're going to host it?
Whenever I can, when my knee's not too messed up, I got you.
Whenever he can, people. So that is the least definitive statement ever. Are you hosting Saturday and Sunday's show? This Saturday.
Starting in 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to Carm. We'll try get him to handle this Saturday and Sunday. I can probably do Saturday. Sunday out of the question. Nate, morning, Prez. We got to get back on track with hockey. Brother Nate, I've lost 2 games in a row. Two. Duh. I'm like 63% or something in the NHL playoffs. Don't worry. We're actually only in the first real round. Lots of hockey left. I will put it back together. Thoughts on a parlay? Avalanche, Rockets, Lakers. Andrew, you have a thought on that? Yeah, I mean,
I like it.
I don't
can't
like
argue
parlays, BC, but I like your name. I'm Danny Dubb. Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show. Mixed by Post. Welcome, brother. Prez has kids, but he also probably has a few rounds to play. Chance, I don't play golf very often. I've played twice this year. I'm horrific. I mean, I've broken 100 once. I don't even have a driver. Koken, you a golfer?
I used to play.
Doubt.
I was pretty
Buster,
good at
you're
one
a
time.
golfer?
I am. Although, as you know, last year I had that neck surgery, and I still have to see my surgeon because of all this COVID. So I'm hoping to get a few rounds in October. But Prez, you know as well as I do, you played as well as Dave was a player. You have to play that game all the time. I used to be able to shoot. I used to be able to shoot like mid 80s in that.
Yeah.
I struggle to break 100 now. So
Andrew,
I mean, you got to
too
play all
young
the time
to
to be good.
You're too young to have picked up
Used to
golf.
play
You're
almost
too
every
old
day.
to find a good stroke.
This is my first summer playing golf, relatively consistently. At least getting out for it was this past week playing my girlfriend's father. I was making sure I could hopefully at least compete. It was one of those things I wanted to either beat him or at least compete. But no, it's fine. Like you said, Dave, you got to or Buster, you got to really play it all the time. But it's
Okay,
a fun
boys,
sport.
Carmine said he's happy to host Puck Time as well, but just not this weekend. So I am prepared to host on Saturday. We just need to find a host for Sunday, but I promise you a Saturday Puck Time show, everybody. So check back on that. Another person mentioned one of my favorite people who always chimes in, Jin Rummy. He says, I can't even find it. There's so much going on in the chat. He wants to know, Jim Rummy, it's gone. Let's get to the next game. Oh, well. Well, I love having you here, brother. Okay, Dallas, Colorado. Man, Dallas looked really good. Against Calgary, they were lucky to get out of that series. I mean, if Dallas or Boston do win the Stanley Cup, both are going to look back at the first round. Dallas, 12 seconds away from being down 3-1. And Boston, that comeback in game 3, I think. Both turning point games. Dallas plays Colorado tonight, under 5.5. Colorado minus 150. Dave, I'll go to you first. I'm zigzagging here, bro. Flat out, I think we're going to see a big game out of Colorado tonight. I know they have goalie issues, but this team can score. I think they're the best team in hockey. I think the Stanley Cup is between them and the Vegas Golden Knights. So I think this is going 7, and I'm taking Colorado tonight.
Well, I think the market's going to heavily be on Colorado to bounce back tonight, which makes some sense. I mean, they've had a tremendous season. They were looking great in the playoffs, just beat the crap out of Arizona in that series. But, now we have to see what happens with the number 2 goalie in nets. And it's not, if you look at the numbers, it's not like there's a huge difference. I think that in the regular season, you can certainly make the argument they were a 1 and 1A. And there wasn't any drop-off. But in the playoffs, I think it's a different story. And losing your starting goaltender in the playoffs and going to somebody who's far less proven, that could be an issue. So I don't know if it changes the style of play the Avalanche want to use, which is speed. They want to get up and down the ice against Dallas, and if they get conservative, that to me plays into the Stars' hands. So this is a game that, with the price the way it was, my choices were to either take the number with Dallas or to look at Colorado in the series. I would play Colorado series before I'd play them game. The reason being, if you think you're going to win this game, you're better off taking the series bet, which is really priced nicely now, so that you'd have all kinds of options if Colorado wins this game moving forward. But I'm not going to do anything with this one. I think I'm just going to sit this game out because I've got to see how Colorado reacts to the goalie situation. It looks, and I don't have any information on this, but it looks like Grubauer is going to be out for a while. And I don't know if it's going to change their style of play. So it's a sit back and watch. Maybe sit back and watch the first period and make a judgment after that based on what I'm seeing, and maybe get involved in something live in the game. But as for tonight's game, I won't have a selection pregame, certainly, and I don't have anything now. To me, it's just more an observe and decide at that point.
You're so funny. Buster, where are you at in this one?
I'm with you, Prez. I like Colorado tonight. Well, obviously, I like Colorado to win the cup. So I am very concerned with Francouz in net instead of Grubauer. Just on like what Dave says, sometimes when they've already got that number one goalie, that number two guy puts that on them. But I really do like this game over as well. Dallas all of a sudden has gone from this defensive juggernaut offense.
Buster, we're having sound issues coming out of your computer. Sorry about that, brother.
Really?
Now you're back. Okay, so you like
Colorado? Yeah. So I like it. I like Colorado. I like it over 5.5. Don't trust Francouz. And Khudobin. Well, again, he's average at best if you ask me. So over 5.5 is the bigger play. Look, like Colorado on the zigzag. Worried about Francouz in net tonight. There's my analysis.
Frank Budd, no promos today. But speaking of promos, Dave, you had to be happy with the results of your welcome to being exclusive at WagerTalk promo.
Yeah,
it was spectacular.
Very good.
Guys.
And there is a promo today.
Go ahead.
It's $9 Monday at WagerTalk.
Yes.
There you go. $9 Monday at WagerTalk, everybody. And Alex Hart, I'm not using Wi-Fi. I am plugged directly into the modem. So
me as well, and I've got big speed, so I'm not sure why it went out.
It's just the way it works. But all of this stuff is going away because we won't be using my computer to run these things any longer. Andrew McGinnis, where are you at in this Colorado-Dallas game?
Well, I like to learn from what we see instead of just, keeping a frame of mind about a certain team. I like to learn from it, and we definitely, like Buster said, we've definitely learned that Dallas's pace of play has moved up. It's a lot faster than it was before, not just relying on, good quality defensive type team anymore. But here's the thing, and sometimes it's good to go with the grain, but sometimes it's good to look at it and say, look, Tyler Seguin opened the scoring from Ben and Radulov. Great job from there. Then Alexander Radulov gets a goal himself. Blake Comeau scores. Here's the problem. Also Rupe Hint. So pretty much, in my opinion, the three top guys to count on got involved and got on the board for the Dallas Stars in their first game. So here's the problem with that to me. I don't think they can replicate that, but we saw Landeskog score a goal and Nathan McKinnon have 3 points in that game. And I feel like this team, the Colorado Avalanche, could win a game without any of those players scoring a goal or getting a point. And that, to me, is the biggest difference, is that, I feel like you look at them. Dallas played a perfect game. They played the game they're going to have to play. They're going to have to score more than 3 goals to win the hockey game. They're going to have to get behind Colorado's defense. But most importantly, they're going to have to score from their big guys. And, there's a reason why my favorite prop bet on tonight's card is Nazem Kadri over 0.5 points at minus 155. I mean, it's a decent price you're paying, but he's continuously being underpriced, I believe, because he's not a big name like Landeskog, like Rantanen or McKinnon. But I think he's been outstanding throughout the entire playoffs. I'm on the Colorado Avalanche here on the puck line, plus 185. I just think it's just tremendous value. I think we've seen it so many times in this playoffs where one team gets a little bit shocked in their first game. All hell breaks loose. Everyone's kind of wondering what happened to them. And the next game they respond. As far as Pavel Francouz goes, he's got a, 1.59 goals against average career in the playoffs in just a few games. And his NHL career goals against average is 2.4. So, yeah, Grubauer is great. But to me, in my opinion, I think it's the same as looking at Rask and Halak. I don't understand why there was any worry about Halak stepping in when he's statistically just as good as Rask is in the playoffs. So I'm not too worried about the goaltending, and I think this just gives us better value here on Colorado.
I want to mention one thing, and this is just information, but I always get curious about things like this. The betting market is supposed to be taking the zigzag here with Colorado. And yet the line is lower for this game than it was for the first game. So that might, and I don't know that they adjusted. I don't know that they adjusted for the goalie situation. So that's a curiosity to me, is that it does look like there might be some sharp money. And again, I'm not saying follow the sharp money or whatever. I'm just saying it for information's sake. It does look like there's some sharp money on the underdog.
Yeah, and Dave, when I went to bed last night, Colorado was minus 160. They're minus 150 now. So there is for sure money coming in on the Stars.
But the ticket,
I actually saw 145.
The ticket count is favoring Colorado.
Right.
Take that for what it's worth.
Okay, so a couple of more things. Natalie, Kate, I'm so glad you're joining us. Learning and expanding your horizons to include hockey. I do want you to know I am an Aussie Rules football fan. I cheer for the Sydney Swans. I have been to at least 20 Aussie Rule football games. I saw Sydney win the championship. I don't know how old you are, but Tony Lockett was their star at the time. Massive Aussie Rules football fan. It is a fun, exciting game. Dave, you follow it?
I love watching it. I mean, I don't have any favorite teams. I really don't know much. I don't know any of the players or anything like that. But so it's not something I'm handicapping or anything like that. But you talk about an action game. It's nonstop. And unlike our football, they play the whole half. Or is it it's quarters, actually. So there's no breaks. And once they start playing, they get the commercials in at the end of the quarter. It's tremendous. I wish that we had more of it.
We
here.
actually have it in Canada. We have it on TV. They do actually have the Aussie Rules.
Yes, what a way. I mean, Fox Sports Network is carrying it, and I think ESPN's carrying some games as well. They're on at an odd hour, but if it's on, I like to watch. It's just sit back and just watch the action. Those guys are tough, man.
Oh, really tough guys. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is tougher than hockey players bringing it back to puck time. I mean, the amount hockey, when we see the Aussie Rules football package, we see like where they're showing commercials, we see a lot of very rough stuff, especially the guys jumping over the back of guys with a knee in their head. I mean, it's hardcore. But it doesn't happen that often in a game. I mean, it does happen a few times, but really the game has a lot of flow and grace to it. Hockey, however, is just nonstop getting yourself killed.
Speaking of which, by the way, injury note, Eric Johnson is doubtful for Colorado tonight. That is also a bit of a concern. He's a solid defenseman, so just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and he never played half the game basically last game too, right?
I think they missed him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, I think it's a low number here on the prop bet for Dallas Stars shots on goal at 28.5, and that's coming from a guy that likes Colorado to win the game. I think that's a pretty low number, 28.5, with the worries at goaltending and injuries on defense. I think that we could see a really, really high pace, lots of shots game.
Yeah, and Go ahead, Dave.
No,
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, I agree, and that's why I like the over. I think you're going to see a similar type game that you saw the first game. So, and Colorado's going to score some goals too tonight.
Guys, Tampa Bay plus 170, 185 to win the series. Now that they lost 3-2 last night. Coke, and you think there's any value there? I do. I love it.
I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah,
so.
Scott Lafredo. I'm all over that Tampa.
I never guess without. I don't guess. So I can't. I have not looked at the next game in that series or the series. So I only looked.
Andrew, any thoughts? I love it. I think Tampa Bay is a better team. I think they're going to win the series.
I can't argue with the number with you, but I like Boston to win the series.
And you, Buster?
I'm actually with you, Prez. I actually bet Tampa in a series small, and I will probably go get a little bit of that. I thought, Tampa kind of came out really a little sluggish, but after when it was 2-0 there, you really saw the real Tampa Bay team come out. A little unlucky third goal there. I like Tampa in the series myself, Prez.
Would like to see the status of their power.
Stamkos,
thank you. Yeah. That would be a huge lift if they can get him back for game 2 or even for game 3. That's the type of little edge that I like when a team gets a stud back. And I'll tell you what, it's not just mental because their power play without Stamkos is just not the same.
Yeah, it's not looking
I
good.
wanted to mention as well that it's very clear cut to me now that the Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand line is 100% the best line in hockey.
What have I been saying all year long?
Oh, I've been saying that for years.
Best two-way line in the league.
Exactly, and the word two-way that Dave uses, look at the goal they scored yesterday. It was because of a back check. They lift the stick. I think it was Bergeron to Pasta over to Marchand with the goal. These gritty and in the dirty areas that teams just don't do. They don't just rely on their skill. That's the biggest thing about the Bruins.
You can hate on Marchand all you want, and he is the ultimate pain in the ass, and he's not a real clean player. But boy, if he's on you absolutely love the guy.
Yeah.
Well, Bergeron's going to the Hall of Fame. So
yeah.
And then you got Pasta, and Pasta's about as good a scorer as you're going to find.
I'll tell you. If you look at Marchand, and I was saying this to Vivian last night. You go back over, and you look at all the pests, whether it's, go back to Ken Linsman, Dale Hunter, Mike Peck, Zach Hyman, whatever, Nazem Kadri. I think Marchand's the best. I think he is the single greatest scoring pest of all time. I think he's Hall of Fame worthy. I think in his role, nobody has ever been better. But I don't go back to the Frank Mahovlich days. Anybody want to add there?
Well, I think he's learned to really accept the role, right? Like I watched him play here in Halifax for the junior team. He also played in local high school right down the road from me. The thing is, I think he's learned to accept the role. For part of the game, be the pest, and then part of the game, be that goal scorer. And I think when he was younger, and even for the Bruins as well, I think some of the older guys must have had a chat with him or something because he was getting too caught up bad part of the game, and now he knows when to play what role. And to me, that's the biggest thing because when it's like you guys said, he's a guy that you don't want to play against and you love to have on your team. When you got a guy that can be tough and can do a little bit of trash talking but also score goals, that's a whole new ball game. Because to me, nobody likes a guy in sports that can talk all they want, run their mouth, but they can't back it up. The thing that would piss me off if I played against Marchand, he backs it up every game.
I'll give you
Dino.
I'll give you the definition of Marchand. He's a first-line player with a fourth-line mentality.
Yeah, nice. Brilliantly said. And I've been thinking about it. I think maybe Dino Ciccarelli might be the number one.
Dino Ciccarelli.
He was really good.
Yeah, I think Marchand might be number 2 behind Dino. Guys, fun show.
Prez,
Listen.
Can I just mention one quick more thing about Tampa Bay on the series? Why I kind of like just really quick. I know you got to get this show done. There's going to be a couple back-to-backs in this series.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be and I know Halak played great last night, but I've seen him, he could be shaken, and I wonder on those back-to-backs if Tampa doesn't have the advantage. So I'm just throwing that out there for the viewers just to think about that as well. Okay, I missed that.
I think that's a great point. Plus, they're a younger team. Nate, that was a funny line, man. That is for sure. Carmine says Dino. Okay, boys, last question to all of you guys. I've just got confirmation from our fearless operational machine, Johnny D. 1 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday for puck time. I will host both shows. Now I need some guests. Dave?
Yeah, it'll be right after the baseball show. We do first pitch on weekends at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So I'll be right here at the computer. Yeah, I've got no problem.
Buster?
I can let you know, Prez. As you know, I've been talking. We're kind of on a little tour here, seeing friends and that we haven't seen in a few years. And I'll be the place where I'm going up in Collingwood. I'm not sure if I've got the internet strength. If I do, I will confirm for Saturday and Sunday. No problem. If I can do it, Prez, I'll do it as long as I got the internet. I don't want to screw up your show with bad internet.
And Andrew, are you going to be okay from your surgery?
I honestly, I think so. I hope so.
Okay, boys.
So I'll text you.
I got Carmen Koken. What else do you need? If we get a Buster and an Andrew, bonus to us. We'll see you all tomorrow. Carmine Bianco will be hosting the show. I'll be back on Wednesday. I can't thank you guys enough for taking time out of your day to watch this. Next Tuesday, September 1st, starts Wager Talk Today with Teddy Covers and myself. It is going to blow your mind. We have been working diligently on a new setup, a different system. We're using a different internet provider. We're using a whole proper professional studio. This show's going to blow your mind. It'll be at noon Eastern every single day, Monday to Friday. Dave Koken will be on it once a week.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm glad you get it. I know he's a nice guy, but Murray's internet is not. I'm glad you're upgrading from that.
Let's end it there, baby. Love you all.
Oh, that was perfect.
Take care of yourselves. Best of luck tonight.